All right, here we
But
go.
looks like we're getting into it. Dust 2. This is the first Dust 2 I think we have actually witnessed here on the European broadcast, so maybe a different look.
Oh yeah, I love these.
lucky you
These
guys.
match intro screens are so
Lucky us, I
so
agree.
sexy.
And the new change for the doors in Dust 2, bring back the old 1.6 kind of feel to it. I'm still upset about the mid-double doors on this map. I think that needs to be fixed in terms of making AWPers harder to hit that shot, so you don't have to waste the
What do you
smoke.
think? Make the crack even smaller, or just extend the door, each side of the doors longer so that there's no gap?
Not the crack, maybe the longer so they don't see it, or make this whole like spot right here, because 1.6 is a lot smaller like window to peek that middle doors. Right there you get the whole area, and there's just too much range like of an AWPer to take.
Well, looks like Big on the T side here, looking to go for a play into a long. There are two players in immediate proximity for OG to try to defend this. You can see Mantu there, and he's also got Valde for support. Nice pop from Valde, though, to kick things off on the defense. That's definitely not going to bode well for Big, although that said, he'll be able to trade out some of these kills, but in comes Mantu again, trying to see what he can do, and, well, looks like Tabs and Insist and have something to say about it. They will be able to reclaim the kills, and they can reset the situation here, but maybe not, because the fight is forced by OG, MBK, and Issa lining it up, and they will manage to survive the onslaughts.
That was such a good move by OG right there. Big killed 3 people at A, and then both OG members were rushing spawn and even pushing long A, and that kind of 5-second hesitation by Big proved to be very detrimental, and OG capitalized on that.
Poor Tabs and caught with his smoke out, just trying to smoke the cross for his teammates. Ooh, they missed their smoke.
See, here's what I mean by the doors. You always have to smoke or nade or do something to block these annoying little scouts and ops that just sit here for 45 seconds in the round. Act like flies.
People have kind of moved away from nading the cross. It's almost always a smoke now. I think people are almost just too good at seeing through that nade smoke at this point.
It's definitely easier, but I don't know why people don't nade it. I mean, yeah, I guess it's easier to hit.
Yeah, because also it disappears very quickly, whereas the smoke you can maybe pause before you cross, and it's hard for them to know, and you can kind of guarantee maybe not taking damage, although you will sacrifice the timing, but it does create the problem though, because then the T's can just run down suicide and get super fast timings to cat and mid, so it just sucks that you have to use a smoke like that, and it actually hurts you as well.
Yeah, because with the nade, they know exactly when you're crossing, because it's right in the second when the nade pops is the only time you can cross. So it makes it easier for them to hit the shot.
So we need to fix this, Valve. Thank you.
All right. Oh, good
That's
nade.
a nade.
That's a way to find a trade. This round was shaping up pretty scarily for the side of OG, but that is a great return kill to find. And now, Big, jammed up at short, scaling off right now, will be met by that player in Montu. He's able to stop the plant, and at this point, really, his job is more or less done. Big unable to find really anything there off of the 4-spy, and it's a 2-0 start for OG.
Yeah, that's unfortunate for Big. They did get the first pick, and nice shot by Keto towards the catwalk, and OG returned it with that nade right in the face, evening up, and it really thwarted Big from trying to maybe lurk more outside middle. It just fell back and went straight into A take, and OG capitalized.
3 deagles on the side of Big here. A couple of flashes, actually, so it looks like they may have a game plan in mind for this round. And I like this heavy mid-play, actually, coming out from OG. That's a great nade that was able to tag them at the beginning of this round. Will make things a lot easier, as it looks like Big are favoring a cat play. Once again, they'll be met by Montu, but this time he's joined by Alexi B. A nice ramp goose setup, it looks like.
And Valda playing super aggressive long. He's still got control of that long tunnel this round. Last round he went on the flank and killed 2 people mid. I wonder if this is going to be a trend for this whole half, him getting super aggressive in here.
I would prefer Alexi B be in that spot that Valde's in, because he's an MP9, and it would be very unfortunate if Valde lost his M4 in that spot.
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter because the OG just wipes the floor with Big. So Davey, if you're in Big spot, what would be your strat to call on this round right here? If you
Well,
were.
it's kind of tough because Valda's been getting really aggressive, but it's hard to know. So hopefully you would have some sort of game plan where you knew what you wanted to do in the first gun round already.
Yeah.
Like when you get to these gun rounds, you want to try what you already have planned. So I don't really know what their game plan is. So you'll have to ask me again in a couple rounds if whatever their plan is doesn't doesn't work. Then then you could find ways to change it
What
up.
would you do? I want to know what you would do.
Well, I wouldn't do anything super crazy. I would do exactly what they're doing. Take map control, use your nades, default it out, and then try to see how the CTs are going to be playing, if they're going to be playing aggressive. Find out what kind of pressure they're going to be putting around the map. Because see this deep smoke long again, so you don't, and Valda has been getting aggressive there, so now Tizian has to be worried about this, and Big has to keep that in mind for whatever strats they decide to call for the rest of this round here, that Valda could be aggressive long.
Yeah, I think that was really good conditioning from Valde in the first couple rounds. It's pretty low risk on the anti-ecos for him to get so aggressive, but now it instills this fear into Big, and you can see that they're so cautious about it. It looks like they'll be exercising some pretty significant long retake procedures, or at the very least a flash through the doors. And it's a 3-man play, actually. It's actually fairly dry, it looks like. And OG, they'll meet Taps in here at this catwalk position. He's in the smoke, though, and he's able to take down OSCB. Nice little ring around the rosy between that smoke, but Valde's able to pick him up. And now the majority of the hit from Big will be coming up from long. Montu swings out. He's able to find one, taking down Surson. 3v3 situation, and Big here stuck at this A ramp. Montu with some great counter utility and is finding another great shot as well. He takes down Keto, and it leaves it down to the 2v2. Xantares taking down Issa as well, and NBK at this point. A low probability play on this retake, but we'll see if he favors his odds. He's moving up now. We'll nade towards lower. Not inflicting any damage. This is a nice little setup between the big players. As one peeks out, the other's able to swing, but NBK is able to take down Xantares, but Tizian with the trade. And Big get their first round on the board.
Yeah, that was pretty much textbook from Big. They got a person up catwalk in the mid round, and he waited there. They had like 2 or 3 people lurking long, waiting. And then they had Xantares in the B tunnels. He tossed his utility set towards B, and what that really does, it brings that extra CT person to stay at B, or to maybe even over-rotate a person A if they get lucky. And so that extra couple seconds allowed the people to take A with minimal resistance and people if they were to stack. It's a very good timing by Big.
It's a nice
And I
nade.
think that the way Big is clearing out all of this stuff, and the way they had that scouter just dedicated to mid, I don't think they're expecting an op out of OG this round. I think that they think their money situation is a little bit worse than it is, because they've been just taking control of a lot of things without using many nades, and they've had a lot of people overexposed. So they might either they have a read and they know that they don't really have to worry about Mantu's op towards mid, or they don't expect an op here.
That's a great point. That swing right there towards Cat, for example, just as you finished talking, was completely dry. And yeah, Montu, he has a lot of potential in this round because Big may not expect him.
It's unfortunate, though, that Mantu's playing so passive when they're being this careless at peeking corners. If he was a little more aggressive, he might have gotten a pick or two at this point in the round.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, for sure he would have. They gave plenty of opportunities for op picks so far. But there's no way to know that. You can't expect the team to do that.
So just trying to
Good
delay
counter
here.
nades.
Yeah. It's definitely burning a lot of time. It's going to create a desperation situation for Big here. They don't really have time to correct for mistake if there is any. If the bomb goes down or something similar to that, it's going to be really problematic. But Xantares with a double entry towards B is going to make life quite easy, in fact. And OG not necessarily with the, I suppose, the optimal response there. It's always very difficult, though, when a B play is coming like that, because you're not necessarily sure as to how many players might be coming from the tunnels. Should we take tunnels and give up the site? Should we challenge, play together, try to hold the site? It's very difficult to make those decisions on the fly like that.
It is very.
That is like the classic Xantares strat right there. Just Xantares go kill. Like he just runs out mid. OG is one guy fighting doors, one guy fighting window, and still he just one shots both of them. Just two. Like it's just that is just so like oh he's so good, man. He's so good.
He's so online.
He's such an
literally
online.
right now.
I remember watching Space Soldiers demos back in the day, and you'd just be watching like a demo on Cash because they were like an insane Cash team. You're like, okay, how are these guys so good on Cash? And you watch it, and it's like, okay, just go out A main and kill everyone. Oh, okay, awesome. I guess we'll just do that, guys. Why didn't we think of that?
Just get a better player for the team, honestly.
Seriously,
you
just get
replicate that.
Xantares. Just get Xantares.
Just be better, dude. Come on.
And just to correct myself as well with Mantu, he, because he was seeing the Polish flag, he, I guess, identifies as Polish probably because he moved to the UK when he was very, very young. He's lived there for a long time. So
I see.
yeah, since I just double checked it, since he was 5 years old, or when he was 5, he moved to the UK. But yeah. Valde, this is a great position. Very strong defensive spot for Valde. Able to get 2 out of it, which is absolutely perfect. Although the lineup, this could be very troubling now for OG, and indeed it will be. They'll lose both A players. That's so unfortunate, given that Valde did a great job in getting the 2 kills that he did, and his teammates just got caught rotating and on a bad timing. And now it's going to be very difficult to retake. It's definitely doable in a 2 versus 3, but given that MBK doesn't really have anything, and that Mantu has so much value with the AWP, definitely best saved into the next round.
Yeah, that's pretty unfortunate rotations from OG. You'd think after those 2 kills long and then Valde being killed would kind of inform the team, hey, there's at least one more person in long, meaning that the rest of the map could potentially be open. And so instead of swinging and taking over long, which is usually a favorable angle for the T's in pit, just let them take the long bomb site if possible, or just play more defensive, strong setup, because you do have an off on Mantu, make them smoke across if they go long or whatnot, and you can play deep on off angles in A or Cat. It's just a lot of options you can do instead of going for that easy pick or easy angle from the CT bomb site.
Yeah, it felt like they almost got caught in rotation. Like they couldn't decide if they wanted to go help Valde or if they wanted to fall back. Because there was that guy who went running, sprinting up on the wall to like peek the corner to trade, and then he like stopped halfway and ended up backing up, and then he gets caught in the middle, and it was like it seemed like they didn't really know what they wanted to do after Valde got the 2 kills.
Yeah.
And that's unfortunate, because it is one of those sort of protocol things whereby that was a pretty quick A-long pressure, and I think a lot of teams, the way that they would want to operate based off of, let's say, where Valde is able to get, they'll have certain responses, because it's one of those things where you can, with your team, you would want to set up, okay, what do we do in these kinds of situations? And there's only so many things that can happen in the first 20 seconds of the round, so a lot of teams will typically have like pre-coded responses to certain things. So it's unfortunate that was some misdecision there, or indecision, I guess is the actual word.
Yeah. And the other thing that could have happened too is they might have had the idea that they were going to help him, but because he got 2 kills so fast and then died, and the guys that were on the A site were kind of on eco. Oh yeah, there's another tag. Keeps happening. Then maybe they were like, maybe somebody called them off, when they had a plan that they were going to go help him, but then somebody called it off because he died. They were like, no, just leave it, just give it, and then it was too late, right?
Yeah,
they were already
yeah.
in the process of moving.
This is a little weird. Usually when people throw the Xbox smoke and this boost is there, the Opper will try to just push behind it and peek down suicide, but Mantu just holds his ground, and he I would say he lost life because of it. But mid to B play it regardless. Taps in, coming through the window here. Alexi B will be the one to find the first kill. Taps in, though, spinning around, is able to find him in return, and is able to take down MBK as well. It's just Issa on the bomb site, and he's taken quickly out by Xantares.
I can't even believe Tapson got 2.
Yeah, that was a lot of damage. That really opened things up, and it's another retake scenario that just feels impossible for OG. And again, Mantu's there with the AWP, can't really do much, and it's always very demoralizing when you're playing on the CT side with an AWP, and the T side just always manages to circumvent you every round, so you don't really feel like you have a chance for impact. As you said, Alex, I do agree. It's like very typical. You'll see the response when that smoke is up to try to use that to peek down cat, and you can always as well like use a flashbang with it, so you can throw the flash high behind the AWPer as he swings it behind the smoke. And it's fairly unlikely anyone who's tons is going to get that spam through the smoke on you. So it's if you're like really scared that they may be expecting it, a flash is going to be a good way. And even if they're playing someone with anti-flash, it's still going to be hard for them to deal with that, I would say. So yeah, it's a shame that we didn't see that extra step.
Yeah. Maybe OG just not as comfortable on D2 as Big is, and it looks like Big is really shaping up in this game right now. They were able to even take the op away from Montu, and that just feels even worse at this point, where it's already been tough enough to get it involved, but now it's taken away from you, and it feels like for the last 3-4 rounds, he's never really had a fair shot at getting it involved. So just Valde with the only rifle for OG.
Yeah, and this is well, this is not a full buy round for OG, of course, but it's if OG get into a pattern whereby, let's say, they start giving up long, and let's say Big get these openings consistently where they're able to just take long for free, I think that's going to bode very, very poorly for OG. So hopefully on the next gun round, they'll find more success in actually holding on to long if Big have good spawns for it and do challenge it. I mean, and that's one of the issues with Dust 2 still, is that there's almost like as a second caller in Dust 2 for T-side, and it's the spawns. And because they're random, it's very difficult for the CTs. And the CTs themselves might get poor spawns for long timings to be able to deal with it. So sometimes you just have to give up long, and it's very, very, very hard to then be forced onto short, knowing that the Ts know that you're forced into that position. It's just an extremely T-sided map most of the time, so...
Yeah. What we used to do back in the old days of 1.6 in those kinds of situations would be if we're playing up cat and we knew that they took over long, we would force over cat and try to retake mid with the B players. And so when we retake A, we have some people still in catwalk while some people flanking long A after we cleared out mid with numbers and then as a team.
Nice.
So we have no lurkers.
Good procedure.
I like it. Well, the questions I suppose will be answered soon. It doesn't. Well, actually, these are good enough long spawns for the T side, so you may expect to see another long opening from them. We'll have to see. There's 3 players towards that side, so actually their spawns are really ideal. We're sitting on the AWP with the best mid spawn. And here we go, just a flashbang or 2 to get Tizian out there. So let's see what the response is here from OG. They are going to give it up behind cover of smoke, and they will be forced onto catwalk. And Big can settle back into it. They can reset into a default after this, and basically knowing that the CTs are going to be stuck on the site / catwalk, they can have setups to deal with that. But they're actually going to walk. They're just going to stay and sit in long for now.
Yeah, sometimes at this point in the round, if you're Big, the most pressure you can apply is just doing nothing, and you force OG to have to move around and react.
Yeah, it looks like they'll bide their time, but do shape up for this long hit. Cross smokes come out. Good counter utility, though, coming out from OG. That'll slow this push just a bit. Keto has already crossed, and it'll be difficult for Montu to deal with it, especially when there's a molly right at his foot now. Keto, I'm not sure if he's aware, though, of Montu's position, but Montu does seem to know where he is, but it'll be Tabson to take him out. A flurry of kills, though, favor OG, and they're actually able to hold on to the A.
Wow, I thought Big had a pretty good opening towards that bomb side. They pretty much got up long A without any resistance, and they had full utility, smokes, flashes, and all of a sudden they just fell apart like a house of cards.
Normally one of the counters when a T-side is doing that is to chain incendiaries either from catwalk or from CT, because you can do the lineups from both positions, to the plant spot so that you prevent them from planting and then all the smokes disappear. Then they get kind of frozen. We didn't even see that actually, and yet still Big struggled massively. They couldn't even get the bomb down. So that's actually a very promising sign for OG that they could have success there without even needing the use of additional delay through incendiaries.
Yeah, they didn't have enough people scaled up into the site. Those counter incendiaries that they threw right when they threw the cross smokes really slowed Big down, and there's a missed shot from Sirison that's going to cost him his life.
That's a really good point. But indeed, it's looking like there's a lot of chaos going on both bomb sites, because Xantaris on one side, and you also have Mr. Tabson on the other. So that's not a sandwich that I want to be involved within. So Big do aggressively take the following round, 6-4 now, and the money is
It's pretty barely. It's barely.
It's not looking amazing for OG, but they do have enough for a buy.
It's doable.
Yeah, they can get something going here. Montu on the up once again. Man, he had a decent start in this game, but it's been tough for him to find anything, and he's going to really need to come alive because OG, they are having a difficult time in some of these scrappier types of situations. Montu getting aggressive towards long. This might not be something that Big expect. He's right there at the doors, and he's able to take down Keto. That's a great opening pick for him, but he's quickly traded out. Tizian is there, but do they expect Valde, who's able to find one? But man, Tabs so quick to recover there. Takes him down, leaving Alexi B on the corner. How does he play around this smoke? Looks like he's not favoring his odds there. He's joined by NBK, who's actually wielding the auto shotty in this round.
Wow.
Good luck. Good luck, MBK. Auto shotty on Dust too.
Yeah.
Good luck. Hopefully they go where he is.
I'd rather have a Deagle, I think. In like almost every spot apart from Tons, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Been holding
Never
close
underestimate the power of the auto shotgun. It'll get you.
Lexi B has to get a couple of kills here if they want to have a hope on this in this round. MBK is like, it feels like they need to just reverse positions as well, but obviously he's the catwalk defender, so fortunately for him, no one's going to be challenging him from that position, and he realizes at this point, I suppose, that it's not going to work out too well for him.
I think in that situation, MBK maybe had to do more of a forward position in terms of maybe just peeking to get them to look at him. So it gives Alexi B just a little more space to get at least a guaranteed kill. Because at that point, he's kind of crawled up on Alexi B, and he had really no chance. I mean, he had a chance, but he was put in an unfavorable spot once he missed his first burst.
Yeah, I would have liked to see him try to take more of a fight after he missed that first shot, instead of trying to, because like there's no point. He tried to like almost fall back into the site and sort of stay alive for a little bit longer and maybe delay them. But you're 2 versus 3 and your teammate's on short with an auto shotgun,
Yeah.
so it's like he can't help you.
You gotta
like you're
take the
just on
fight.
your own. Just frag out, man. Like just do your best.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, that's true. Usually you would want to buy time for that rotation to come in, but
Yeah, but in this case you don't. Like
that's not the
he's
support
not
you're looking
helping,
for.
so-
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I thought
Just send it, dude. Just send it. Frag out.
I thought the last round what Mantu was, I was kind of thinking that he's a little too passive with the op, because Big's been doing a pretty good job of really making the passive opper uncomfortable, you know, tossing smokes and flashes, and he's not getting a good shot. But that last round, Mantu was very aggressive towards long. He got the kill, and even OG had a setup for the counter push, and they just failed to capitalize, and, you know, like 1 or 2 kills off of that would have switched the round in OG's favor.
No, it's true. It was actually a good play by OG to mix it up and send him aggressive there. But what they did wrong is the guy on the corner peeked before Valde got contact. They should have let Valde get the second contact after Mantu died.
Yeah.
And then the guy on the corner peeked. Because the guy on the corner died before Valde even got contact. And then Valde just went 1 for 1 and the guy on the corner was dead. And then it was round over.
Yep. It's little mistakes like that, just throwaway rounds.
Yep.
And
Big, awkward here for them as Alexi B's coming up from the stairs from lower dark, and he may have found a timing just as Tatson comes off the angle. Another very scary situation. Now it's just Santaris left against everyone, and he can't find Mantu in time. The bait and switch works out very well, and that was very awkward. Going B against the pistols has not worked out, and the scout. It felt like they kind of ran into the worst possible thing there. Like the scout, it was the most dangerous thing, and MBK, you know, he was placed correctly.
Yeah. Found that opening pick as well through the doors. That was a great way to start things off. OG probably need to mix a little bit more of that opening aggression if they want to stop Big, because other than that single instance at long, it's been pretty difficult for OG in these like 5v5, 4v4 situations. They really need to find that opening advantage, it looks like. And they'll be making a proactive play once again.
Finally.
Yeah, Valde and Alexi B. Tizian is in such a strong off angle, though. Should be able to catch one off here. But, Valde jiggles it out just perfectly, taking down Tizian. And Yeah, now OG once again 5v4, but how will they capitalize? Montu on the bomb site with an op. Big with a slow approach once again.
So onto the side they go. They need to get all the kills here, that's for sure. Hang on to Xantares will cause problems, but I must just say alive. The HE follow-up could be good. Absolutely is. And some mollies below to make sure that Tabson can stay safe for the plant. No jump shenanigans coming out just yet, although Tabson jumps. And that is not ill-advised. Searson now with it all to do from the car position with the AWP. Xantares does find a headshot as well to lighten the load, but the burden is extreme at this point as he looks for the next player. Xantares can't get it done, and the round will go to OG. They have 6 rounds on their CT side now. That's actually a very good scoreline for the CT side.
It's pretty good. It's also pretty scary for OG. They had such an advantage in that situation, and Big almost took that away. And it shows that even though OG is reading them pretty well in these in some of these late game situations, is that Big is just still you still have to outshoot them. You still have to outposition them in the heat of the moment.
Yeah, OG's made a lot of good adjustments with Big taking such aggressive long control. They finally, the round before where they ended up losing, where they actually sent Mantu aggressive long with the op, and then that round where they sent 3 guys up mid to quick flank. So they're making really good adjustments actually. Now Big needs to adjust their game plan now to try to close out this half with the 9-6.
Good tag onto Searson early on in this round. I think that was through the doors. And Keto here at lower, looks like he might be set up to push through those double doors, or will he just go for this safer cat play? Probably would assume that at this point. Doesn't look like there's any flash to set him up. Montu holding a pretty wide angle towards middle, but he'll drop the Molotov and back off to safety. OG are in a B-centric setup right now. There's 3 players on that site, and so if Big head their way, OG may be able to pick up a 7th, but as soon as I say that, it looks like Big kind of backing off on any attempt towards that position.
Really smart call from Big. OG showed a lot of presence towards Cat, and that lets them know that they're playing heavy towards mid and short side of the map. So Big just walking all the way out long here without meeting any resistance.
And a really good position now, Big, to get onto the A sites. The OG players don't really seem to be in a position to contest anything here. It's just Valde on catwalk with an M4. So this round almost looks like a gimme for Big as they will run boost across, making things as safe as can be. But it almost feels like OG are saving already, almost, because of the positions. We'll have to see what is possible for a retake here, but the stack towards the B side of the map has not worked out for OG, and indeed you can see that they're just going to go and save.
Yeah, there's a lot of value in doing the early 3B setup from a CT side, especially if you think that Big would run some kind of mid to B play, but perhaps, kind of like Davey mentioned, OG with the utility usage and the posturing of the op towards middle might have shown a little bit too much presence in portions of the map that alerted Big that was likely going to be more of a 2-1-2 setup than the normal 3-2. And yeah, Big are able to capitalize. So great mid-rounding from Big. And can't fault OG too much because usually you can throw that out once a half and it has pretty high potential.
One point there actually that you could make is that OG know that if they would lose the rounds, they wouldn't have... They basically would only have 1 buy round. So given that they already have 6 rounds, they're not desperate to get additional rounds. So it's actually kind of a cool play that you can say, we're going to stack one side of the map and just gamble it. And if we're wrong, we get a full save and we get to try again. So they kind of, in that sense, have 2 buys in a situation where if they would have lost the round, they wouldn't have... Big would guarantee to get to 9. So...
That's a good point.
So that's one way to look at it.
I think it was well worth the risk.
Yeah.
Assuming that Big would adjust and maybe not go towards long. Like I said, if they made it a little bit too obvious what they were doing was the only problem. If they would have been a little bit more subtle about it, I think that Big might have played into their hands because they were looking for a mid to B split before they saw everything that happened.
Yeah, there was a lot of util. That molly from Montu in particular towards middle showed their hand a little bit. Lexi B though, at CT spawn, he's able to take down Keto, but Tabson finds the trade, and it looks like it'll be a cat hit from the big side. Montu on the bomb site, not mollied out, is able to take down Surson, and MBK is there to support him. Finally, the molly comes, and one on the ramp as well, but it looks like it might be too little too late as MBK is able to clean things up here. And OG, a nice recovery from them as they're able to pick up 7 on the CT side of Dust 2. Find out who takes map 1 after a quick break.
Yes, and we don't know where this is going to go.
Yeah.
Because OG versus Big. OG put up a good fight on their CT side, and Big, they're looking to change that. Big playing a double catwalk setup. Getting info. Making it look cool. That's all the cool kids are doing, boys and girls.
Yeah, a couple of sets of utility here on the OG side. May indicate some kind of mid to B play. But will that run right into the stack
2 damage
of Big? Yeah. An uneventful nade to start things off here. And actually, OG are posturing to make this an A split of sorts. First to contest will be Xantras here at the double doors. It looks like he will be evaded. Tizian right there at CT spawn, unable to find anything. As I say that, he does take down Valde. Alexi B is able to take down Tabson. Keto and Tizian chime in with a couple of frags, and now it's Alexi B and Montu. But Montu on a big flank right now, looking for a frag, but it's actually Alexi B to find it, leaving Tizian in a duel with Alexi B. Big victory on the side of the big side. On Big.
There you go again with your puns.
It's hard. Montu, though, in the 1v2, looking to try to make it happen for OG on the broken strategy, but Tizian is just too strong on that bomb site.
Tizian with 4 kills, jeez.
Jesus. Yeah.
And massive kills too, without armor, isolated on his own. Like he had to push up and go for that kill on Alexi B, and he was just 1 versus 1. If he loses that fight, it's round over. So huge kills from him.
Tizian's always a good shout on a pistol round, I've found. I've seen so many cool moments with him. He's got a lot of personality in his game as well, which is really cool. I'm actually such a big fan of this Big lineup. So many different looks to Big over the years, but
it's so hard to not just say Big all the time.
Oh yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Thinking, is it just me? And then
it rolls off the tongue,
say it
you know?
also.
Like it was super annoying for me for a long time. I think I've just like gotten so used to it now that I don't even think about it anymore. But yeah, it's super annoying.
Yeah.
But okay, we got a very classic short push here from OG. This is very, very standard way to try to find a plant. That's all you're really looking for. But they managed to get 2 kills. And what's insane is if they had bought some more like some deagles and something into this, maybe they would get more damage. But already this is enormous. Another kill comes through. Ooh. 3 kills and a bomb plant from a round like this, especially considering that I don't think they used any grenades, is honestly extremely unusual.
Yeah.
Just run up short and win.
Yeah. That is really surprising. Maybe Big kind of getting ahead of themselves a little bit there. Just a lot of they were just so confident in some of those duels that they were taking that they didn't mind that they were actually rather disadvantaged and maybe even overwhelmed.
That's the thing too.
It seems super weird. Tabson got totally caught out.
Yeah.
That's
like
true
they had no clue they were up short.
And that's the thing too, that this round, you know that the T's in this context are going to be on a full save, and it's very, like, there's like 2 things that they can do, basically, that could be remotely dangerous, and the run-up cat is one of them that people would be watching out for, so that is surprising.
I too am shocked by how many high-level teams just don't expect the cat play for some reason.
Yeah, it blows my mind.
It's crazy because it's almost always run on that second round.
Mm-hmm. It's so common. Well, either way, back into the buy, although for Big, it's not looking particularly fearsome with the lack of an AWP, instead a scout in its place on Searson. Xantares already dinked down to 6 HP, and he's on a FAMAS as well. So from a firepower perspective, things definitely aren't favorable here for Big, but we'll see what they can accomplish now that the round has slowed down somewhat. We and OG have developed their default out a little bit, and they don't have full catwalk control or long control just yet. Kind of feels like they're going to be falling back to a B split, given that there's 3 congregating towards upper dark at this point, and they have just put a slight pressure towards long and cat. So it looks like the B split's incoming.
Oh, nice.
Just watching Xantares with low HP like that just makes me stressed. I just feel stressed for him. I was like, oh my god, you just can't take a like no damage at all, or you're just dead. Don't miss, homie. Like it's rough.
Please don't nade me. But luckily
Yeah,
for
exactly.
him, there are no nades left, only a Molotov, and I don't think they throw a Molotov in this spot. And that didn't work.
It's so hard, tough if you're Keto there. You just can't do anything. That's the problem with the B split, is that you typically, if you allow a B split to happen, you can't survive because you just don't have the cover. Well, any cover that you may take from one side opens you up to the other side. So you're in a position that's extremely low percentage. So typically speaking, what a lot of teams like to do if they have an inkling that the B split's coming is they'll try to take aggressively one position or the other, as opposed to allowing the T's to kind of split on them with them just sitting in the sides. But sometimes you don't get enough time to do it, and you'd rather just hedge your bets and be like, all right, I'm just gonna be in position even if it's a bad one.
Yeah, it's so risky also for Xantares when he's tagged down that low to
Yeah.
want to push tunnels. He was trying to play off the smoke the best that he could, but with red HP, it's just so difficult. Shout out to Sapphire, catching all the action here.
Saracen kind of needs to wake up a bit too as the opper. He's been
Yeah.
performing so well, and he's barely even in the game.
Yeah, if your dedicated AWPer is quiet on Dust 2, you're definitely feeling that. That's for sure. Ooh.
And even still, he doesn't need to be putting up huge numbers or anything. But it's almost like you don't even notice him on the map when you're watching, right? Which is a huge problem
Tabson wins these.
on a map like this.
Oh,
Ooh.
Matu though, peeking down Suicide, is able to find the kill. The trade. Still a decent chance for Big in this round, actually. They have a couple of scouts, and I really just can't count this team out when I see them with this kind of weaponry. They're so hot at times. Xantares going pretty even with Issa there on that tunnels trade.
Yeah, and especially like getting a kill early, even though typically you're thinking, oh, that favors the Ts. In a round like this, removing the amount of Ts that can trade the pistols actually can be kind of, or help the CTs out quite a lot, and also remove some of the nades. And if Xantares can connect a cheeky shot here through this smoke, that would be huge. But the reload is going to give his position away. They know that he must surely be close. He's going to do something insane here. One, two! There's more to be had for Xantares as they're challenging his position! There's another! Oh my goodness, Xantares is just proving that online especially, this guy can never be counted out. That's phenomenal from him. Oh, that is so upsetting. If you're OG, that's so upsetting.
You felt that, Dan, and we all felt it too. He's like, okay, Dan said something. There has to be something amazing happening.
Right here, all I could think about is, oh, he's dead. You know exactly where he is. He's dead. Like, there's no chance. And then Xantares.
Just the second kill. Oh, man.
Oh, that's so awkward.
Oh, God.
Just get out there. You got to kill and beat. Just get out.
That's disgusting. That is so disgusting. And that could change the complexion of this game completely. That said, OG are just walking into A right now. They took long control and they're just going up silently, and they're just going to try to execute onto this site. And this is going to be so hard for Tizian. He's usually very good in these kinds of spots where he has to delay, but oof, Searson will turn up for a frag at the very least. Tizian with the smokes to work with, and they're so weak from these nades. He has a real chance to do a lot of damage here. To see if he can do anything more with that MP9. It's actually such a perfect weapon for this.
Oh. Alexi does find the trade, though, but with such low HP, this is such a difficult situation. Alexi, though, taking down Keto despite the health disparity. Now Xantares is here at the elevator position. He wants to continue his success from the previous round, but it might just be Tabson here with this nade. This utility is looking good for him.
Oh.
That's good enough to take down Issa right there. Very well placed. Alexi does deal with Xantares, who was on that lower spot. And Alexi on the ramp. He doesn't know that Tabson has crossed out of the smoke just yet. Looks like he has some kind of feeling, though. Tabson, though, just waiting in a crazy off angle right now, and he will take his head off. That's great for Big.
Such a huge round, my god, because they spent everything, I think, there as well, and that breaks, well, it doesn't break the money completely. It's not too horrendous for OG, but they can't fall by at least. So all off the back of that crazy Deagle round from Xantares as well, that has changed the game so much.
Stop going B on ecos. That's my little 2 cents to them. I think it's the second time this game. that team went B and an eco and lost.
Just don't face Xantares.
Don't go B. Yeah, just don't face Xantares when he has a deagle.
Yeah, that was the worst part about that round is they just shouldn't have lost it. That was, the, you know, like it's just one guy stuck in a corner with a deagle and he kills 4 people. It's like you can't even like what I don't know. I don't even know
It's
how
not
you're
supposed to happen. It's not supposed
No.
to happen.
His
No,
second
it's not.
shot, he just shot the deagle as fast as he could, and it was a perfect headshot. There's not a lot to be done. You're actually in pretty good spacing form as well. It's just Xantares doing what he does.
He expects the fast peak, and you gave him the fast peak that he wanted. That's like the only chance that he would have won the round. And you gave it.
Does anyone else's deagle work like that though? I feel like mine doesn't.
Nico's
No.
does, I think. That's
That's true.
probably it.
Well,
Handful play.
OG are looking for a B play here with their nades in this half buy. And I kind of like that Keto's close with the MP9. I think that's quite stifling for OG as they would try to make their way through that tunnel for this B split. And Tabson is betwixt the 2 mid smokes. It's looking pretty controlled so far here from Big. The counter utility is really causing problems for OG. Doesn't look like they're going to get this split or that coordinated as they would like. Oh, that said, at least there's a frag in mid, but Xantares is just deleting everyone as per usual.
Oh.
There this is kind of a crazy turn of events.
Just running and shooting.
It's like ice skating right there.
All right. 2-on-2 situation. We'll see how the new door comes into play, and it actually favors Alexi B there. Thought Sursa might have found an angle, but Tizian does. He's able to bring it to a 1v1 here. This is everything, and Tizian is able to take down Valde. Big up 13-8.
I have to say that OG are playing pretty well overall, and this is more competitive than I expected. But we did say that even if OG had a good game plan, it was actually the individual talent of Big that would win the game. And I think that's kind of what's been happening, because it's those moments like the Xantares 4K with the deagle that's actually really that's the thing that's put OG really in a bad position, ultimately.
Yeah.
Yep, and that's without Saracen showing up either.
True. Yeah. Really good point.
And I've seen Keto make some pretty big mistakes, honestly, but overall, they've still been able to grind out the rounds.
Like the decoy. I'm a fan of the decoy nades. You know, toss a smoke, throw the decoy in the smoke. See what happens, you know? Probably nothing, but you can always get a spam or something. And MBK takes out Searson over there.
Looks like
That's another death, like, just where he's not even having any impact, dying for no reason, no impact on the map. Oh, the timing.
Oh.
Yikes. He's
He's
so
leaving, he's gone.
wrecked.
Wow, they're-
So wrecked.
and they just rush out the site. Wow. No nades, no nothing, just pure out running.
That's like that's just such a Counter-Strike feel right there.
They're cheating. How do they know?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, as soon as I look away, they just walk into B. Okay, like,
That's the worst feeling.
Given that Searson died earlier as well, at least, you know, it's like they can just forget about this one. But yeah, I'm very unpredictable though from OG to, you know, create such a timing. The fact of the matter is that, you know, you're looking away from that position because they just really have no idea what's going on. And because Searson died for free, the attention had to be given to mid to see if something's going on there. So Searson dying for free like that was really the crux of the issue. OG can really truly come back here again. I think it's a really good point you made, Davey. We're not seeing Searson turn up on the CT side. Your AWPer really needs to be present to control the flow of the map, and also to make the T's afraid of certain angles and positions, and so on and so forth.
Right. Yep, that's the biggest thing, is you have to at the very least make OG think about you. Like, you have to be a threat in some way, even if you're not getting 2 or 3 kills every round, right? You have to at least be a threat, and they're just not even worried about him. And MBK just like peeked mid and just took a fight against the Opera and just killed him. It's like, that just can't, like, you have to punish that.
This is scary. It's a huge contact out catwalk. The bomb's down now, though, on the ground, thanks to Tabson getting the frags. 2K for him, as Kito's also able to find a headshot with the scout onto MBK, who I think was just sitting on catwalk facing that double doors. Now Issa needs to deliver something. The only player with any health remaining on OG as he looks for the next frag, and Tabson's just playing in that smoke, and it's so hard when that smoke is dissipating and the player's inside of it, as they do get the advantage on you. Mantu, they know where he is now, and they have the bomb control. Never mind, CHE will finish the job. 14-9, and Big pick up the rounds.
So it was a frustrating round from OG. Just a simple cat hold from Big with Famas's. Tabson was able to get 2 kills. It looks like OG's trying to reach too hard, too far. When they heard a scout in middle, possibly, so it probably gives you an idea that they're in some kind of force buy in some way. It's almost better just to slow it down and work in numbers, not try to rush from cat all the way to cat stairs in one go, you know? Try to force those kills.
Wow. NBK ticked so far down already in this round. This is not shaping up well. All right. As I say that, Valde somehow winning out that fight against Tizzy in there. He's tagged very low, but he manages to keep his life intact, and that's a big victory for him. And Montu holding that long angle, expecting that aggression from Surson, is able to further the advantage. It's really all up to Tabson to try to lock down this A side at this point. He's able to take down NBK. He's looking for more, but will OG even give him an opportunity? It looks like they just want to back off from this. Montu, he's still holding these long doors. Thought maybe Tabson would have pushed, but at this point, Big, they're unsure of where the hit from OG is actually going to end up at this point. And I'm not sure OG know just yet either. So hold call coming out.
I was about to say, I don't think anybody knows.
Yeah. Oh, those are good flashes to at least scare Issa off the angle a little bit.
And Big is just gambling here. They're just stacking all 3 people towards this B site, and OG might walk right into this.
Oh, man.
Oh, I think you're right.
This is a good call from Big. This is, again, one of those things where they have no money. They're down on numbers. It's Dust 2. You can't watch everything, and they just take the gamble, and OG's walking right into it.
It's a trap.
Oh, this flash! Oh, Kito set up for the kills. Only able to, actually, it's all Xantras. As a matter of fact, to find 3 and the 4K!
The turrets.
Oh, wow.
Wow, that was so cool from Big. That is cool.
He's like, here, I'll flash for you, man. You go out there and you go kill them. Yeah.
Man, he's like a TF2 sentry turret or something, just like put up on the boxes.
Nope.
This is
Here, man. This is so you can get the kills, I promise.
I know, this is crazy. I really thought, before looking back at the kill feed, that was all Kito.
Well, that's 15 now for Big on
Oh, what?
map point.
What is this a... Oh, okay.
Look, what? It's a vitality strap.
The UI. Okay. We good.
Confused, but we're back.
Phew.
OG looking for long control. And we see that B stack again. And Big playing it really passively, not wanting to give away anything just yet. Now this is a really difficult position for Big if OG decides to just commit up A, but Searson, if he can get one more here, that would be so instrumental. He's trying to hold on from the car position, trusting in his teammate from the site, but the frags, the entries will be made by OG to open up that A bomb site, and looking for the plant. It might be more difficult than first anticipated with Tabson finding the headshot onto Valde. They have to still ferry the bomb across. It is now making its way across, but all the teammates for Mantu are dead. He needs assistance to plant this, and the only assistance he'll get is his AWP. And that kill will allow him to reset the situation into a post-plant. And he's got good anticipation here down the low. Oh no, just as I say that, he turns away. And Big are looking to now close this down with the defuse. Map 1 will go to them. Very well played indeed.
Yeah, we'll get more into it though after a quick break.